Exactly 1 month ago in Karauli, we saw a Hindu New Year procession being attacked. In fact, rioters ruling the roost on the streets, stones, sticks brandished. Remember, to this date, the main accused in that case around a month back, that is a Congress-linked Matloob, is still free, allegedly due to state patronage. And then there was the incidence of red carpet being rolled out for an accused in the 2021 Chhabra riots by the Chief Minister himself at his residence. Even as the victims await compensation and justice. And now, the Gehlot government is once again in the dock over its inaction in a communal law and order situation. Now, the city of Jodhpur remained restive since last night when violence broke out in the Jalori Gate area of the city. What exactly happened? Let me take you through these videos. The first video is that of an Islamic flag. The claim is that it was placed on top of a freedom fighter statue. The other version is that clashes broke out because the saffron flag that was put here to commemorate Parshuram Jayanti was removed earlier. Another video shows loudspeakers being taken down that were installed for Eid celebrations, installed with due permission, but after overnight conflagration, they were brought down by the crowd. 12 hours later, the local administration had swung into action, or so it believed. They removed all the flags and hoisted the tricolour to end all religious debate. However, that was not the end, because the violence continued, and the videos that I'm showing you now are the most disturbing. An armed mob ran riot on the streets of Jodhpur, armed with sticks, stones, and even swords. Stones were pelted at vehicles that were parked on the street side, public property vandalized, and some vehicles were even set on fire by an irate mob. All while the police that was supposed to be on high alert was nowhere to be seen.
हम लोग तो अंदर थे, चाय पी रहे थे ब्रेकफास्ट वाली, और उतने में एकदम से शोर आया। बोले शोर काहे का, बाहर जाके देखते हैं। देखा जितने तो धमाधम आवाजें आ रही थी। छोटे बच्चे और ज्यादा बड़े लोग नहीं थे, बच्चे टाइप ही थे सब, 20 साल से 15 से 20 के। गाड़ी पे एक मारी, वो तुमको दिखाई नहीं दी, आवाज जरूर आई थी मेरी गाड़ी पे, इनकी बाइक पे। तो हमने आके देखा कि और जोर से मारी, ये चिल्लाए जोर से, क्या हो रहा है ये। जितने में ये इधर इलेक्ट्रिक की दुकान है हमारे, इस पे मारी उन्होंने। तो मैंने कहा ज्यादा बदतमीजी कर रहे हो तुम लोग, क्या बात है। आगे निकल के इनकी गाड़ी पे मारा, उनकी गाड़ी पे मारा।
एक चीज बताओ, 15 से 20 साल के बच्चे इतना उदंगड़ कर सकते हैं क्या? और नमाज पढ़ के आते वक्त वो क्यों आए? उनके हाथ में सामान कहाँ से आए? नमाज पढ़ने गए थे, सुबह गए। हम लोग यहीं रहते हैं 60 साल से, कभी एक दूसरे से हमने झगड़ा नहीं किया। वो बच्चे कैसे आए? इस जैसे इतने बच्चे छोटे हैं, उनके पास ये सामान कहाँ से आया? किसी ने तो प्रोवाइड कराया होगा, या उसी ने तो किसी ने तो उसको गाइड किया होगा। हमारे बच्चों को क्या लेना देना, इस बाइक से क्या दुश्मनी है? सिर्फ दहशत फैलाने के लिए।
पुलिस उस वक्त नहीं थी, वो इमीडिएट वो फिर फोन किया गया उनको, फिर वो आए, 10 मिनट बाद आए। लेकिन वो जितने में उनकी जो ग्रुप बना हुआ था, वो सब वहाँ से निकल गया, पूरा मोहल्ला से होके वो सब निकल गए वहाँ से। शायद कोई उनका हेड था, उनको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल गई कि यहाँ से निकलो फटाफट, शायद पुलिस आ रही है, और जितने में वो सब भाग गए वहाँ से।
अच्छा, कोई हेड था, उनको निर्देश कोई दे रहा था?
कोई निर्देश दे रहा था, आगे से किसी ने कहा चलो 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 फटाफट निकलो यहाँ से, अब सही नहीं है।
The rage blinding the mob that they were not even willing to spare a young innocent girl.
जोधपुर के कबूतर चौक पर जब आज सुबह हिंसा भड़की तो कई दुकानों को उपद्रवियों ने अपना निशाना बनाया। एक दुकान ऐसा था जहां पर एक पिता जो है अपनी बेटी के साथ मौजूद थे। उसी वक्त उपद्रवी आते हैं और दुकान पर हमला करते हैं। आपसे समझना चाहेंगे कितने बजे के आसपास का इंसिडेंट था?
10:30 बजे के बाद में शुरू हुआ है, ऐसे 11 लगभग अंदाज। अंदर से पूरमला के आगे मियाँ के पास है, वहाँ से सब एक साथ आवाज़ आई थी, ओ चलो चलो, हाका वो हुआ। मैं देखने लगा तो फिर एक साथ में टोली शुरू हो गई आना। टोली आई, आके तोड़ मार शुरू कर दिया। इधर कोटी है, बटे से तोड़ने लगे, बोर्ड तोड़ने लगे, सामान दुकानों के फेंकने लगा। गुड़िया मेरी बाहर खड़ी थी, इसके साथ डर गई वो। डर के फिर मैंने अंदर निकाला इसको, फिर बाहर निकाला। बाहर निकालने के बाद लिखा, फिर लाठीचार्ज होने लगा। इसी कारण भैया कोई थे, वो खड़े और उनके जोरदार पीठ पे ऊपर लाठी से वार किया।
मेरा माननीय श्री मुख्यमंत्री जी से अनुरोध है कि इस एटमॉस्फेयर को जल्दी से जल्दी सही करें, क्योंकि जोधपुर के लिए ये बड़ा काला धब्बा है।
हम यहीं खड़े थे, ये पीछे से आए थे सारे के सारे दंगाई। इनके हाथ में लठ, कुछ पत्थर, किसी के हाथ में तलवारें, और वहाँ से आए थे और यहाँ इन्होंने तोड़ भांग स्टार्ट कर दी थी, यानी सारी जगह। इस दुकान पे बच्ची और उनके पिताजी थे, तो मैं वहाँ से सामने से आया जब ये इनको मार रहे थे। इनके ऊपर हमला कर रहे, बच्चे ही पर हमला करने वाले ही थे। तब मैंने वहाँ बीच में आके उसको पहले यहाँ से लेके इस घर में डाला, फिर उन्होंने मेरे पीठ पे और कंधे पे चोट दी थी।
And the opposition is now gunning for the state, breaking its track record in dealing with criminals to allege selectivity.
राहुल गांधी जो काठमांडू में हैं, डिस्को वगैरह जो भी कर रहे हैं वहां पर, उस पे अचंभा क्यों हो रहा है? ये तो वैसे भी पार्ट टाइम पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं और इनकी पार्ट टाइम पॉलिटिक्स में ये कारण है कि पीछे से जो पर्ची पकड़ाता है वो जो चुनाव क्षेत्र है वहां बोल देते हैं।
श्री राहुल गांधी हैज नॉट गॉन एज ए अनइनवाइटेड गेस्ट।
The News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Across to our guests, Sanju Verma continues to be with us, as is Ratan Sharda and Tehseen Poonawalla. Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar, joins us on the panel. Tehseen, I'm going to start with you on this debate as well. Very important point that is being made by the opposition. They are coming out to say, the BJP is coming out to say that in Rajasthan, whether it is those who are accused of Karauli like Mr. Matloob, who is a cooperator, who is backed by the Congress or backs the Congress party in that particular area, or if it is Asadi, who is accused of the Chhabra riots, who is feted by the Chief Minister at his own residence at a Roza Iftar party, and now over here, despite the riots or the incidents that took place late in the night, the police just allowed or did not do enough to prevent the free-for-all that we saw this morning. Clearly, somewhere or the other, the allegation is that the government or the administrative machinery or the police or whatever you want to call it has been very soft on these individuals who are carrying out or openly breaking the law of the land.
With humility, I take your point. I have just 3 sentences to make. Number 1, in the first riot, along with the corporator who used to back the Congress but not anymore now to run because the Congress is after him, there is also an RSS leader, Gupta, who has been accused and is also absconding. So it's the RSS leader also is absconding. Therefore, I say on every debate of yours, from Rajasthan to Karnataka to Kerala to West Bengal to Delhi, whenever elections a year away or now Mumbai or less than a year away, the BJP on the other side is involved in riots, which brings me to my second point. Again, I accept with humility that Ashok Gehlot and the Congress has a lot to answer for. Of course it has to answer for. How dare riots happen, especially when you know that the BJP is involved in riots and they will keep creating riots. So you need to be alert. But on the second side, if Ashok Gehlot is to be held responsible for these riots, by the same logic, 2 riots in Delhi, Amit Shah should resign. When is Amit Shah's resignation coming? I would like to know, because I've never been on a program where Amit Shah's resignation has been sought. He's been an incompetent Home Minister of the country. And third, this seems to be an international conspiracy. This seems, as the third line, and I'll finish, Sanju Ji. This seems to be an international conspiracy, as said by the BJP spokesperson on various times now shows, where across the country riots are happening, weapons are going, whether it's to our Hindu youth or to our Muslim youth. So once again, where is the union government failing? Every promise the union government has made it fail. When will the Honorable Prime Minister speak about riots? I'd like to know the answer to these questions.
Okay, all right. There are a number of people, in fact, who raised questions in the Delhi riots that happened on these very debates. There were similar questions raised as you were asking Tehseen Poonawalla, so I don't think that's a fair point to make. Nevertheless, the BJP, of course, and in the BJP's rule, Sanju Verma, the question comes from Tehseen Poonawalla. I, for one, certainly don't believe that 2 wrongs make a right. Just because a riot has happened in one part of the country does not mean we continue rioting endlessly in different parts of the country. The question, though, that is being raised by Tehseen Poonawalla is that all of this is happening because there is a political purpose, because polls are on the way. That's the allegation coming from Tehseen Poonawalla. Please respond to that, Sanju Verma.
You know, Madhav, Tehseen is not even the official spokesperson of the Congress, so I don't want to dignify his comments, but I will answer to the queries you raised at the start of your show. Point number 1, law and order ad nauseum has been said is a state subject. Ashok Gehlot is not only the Chief Minister, but the Home Minister of Rajasthan, and is hence doubly responsible for the fact that law and order has taken a flying leap out of the window in Rajasthan. Be it Chhabra, be it Bharatpur, be it Karauli, be it Jodhpur, be it Alwar. I want to ask one thing. Why is it that Ashok Gehlot has not removed the Chief Secretary till now, Subhash Garg, a close confidant of Ashok Gehlot? Why has he not removed ADG Law and Order, Hawa Singh Bhumaria, who was right there when Karauli riots happened, and his team telling the writers, Jaldi bhago, Jaldi bhago. Why has Ashok Gehlot not removed the ACS home, Abhay Kumar? Jab Hathras mein incident hota hai, Unnao mein incident hota hai, everybody is baying for the blood of the bureaucracy, and immediately in Hathras, we suspended Recount, who was the SP then. I want to ask one more thing, Madhav. You look at the entire scenario in months of 2022. January 2022, Anwar gang rape. February 17th, PFI Peace Unity March in Rajasthan in Kota. March, Jaipur gang rape, where Deepak Meena, the son of Congress leader Johari Lal Meena, is an accused. April, the Dausa gang rape, where Rajasthan's health minister Prasadi Lal Meena's son is an accused. April, you have on April 22nd a 300-year shivling being broken in Rajgarh. And who's responsible? The SDM and the DM, who report directly into the Home Minister Ashok Gehlot. And now in May, you have the Jodhpur riots. 1 day ahead, 2 days back actually, the intel input was there that since Parshuram Jayanti, Akshaya Tritiya and the Eid festivities are on the same day, there could be potential trouble. When you had intelligence input, why was Ashok Gehlot caught sleeping at the wheel yet again? That is my question.
Okay.
Amit Shah does not look at the Home Ministry of Rajasthan, Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, Rajasthan's Home Ministry.
There are 2 points. There are 2 points. I think there are 2 points largely from what Sanju has said. There are 2 points largely from what Sanju has said. And before goes to Ratan Sharda and Atikur Rahman, I want a quick response from Tehseen on both these points. Tehseen, the point is this, that it is not one isolated incident. There are multiple incidents that have taken place of law and order in the state of Rajasthan that are raising questions. Notwithstanding the fact that those who are accused of riots are being feted at the Chief Minister's residence. And we're talking about Asadi. You all know about, the Chhatra riots. What makes matters worse in Jodhpur is that this is the Chief Minister's own home turf. If he has no control of what's happening in his own area, how is he supposed to rule the state?
Precisely.
Tehseen, question for you. Please answer.
Okay, so just a very quick question. That bill that the Rajasthan government is not.
I'm sorry, there's a problem with the audio. There's a problem with Tehseen's audio. We'll just fix that. Let me in fact bring in our panelist Atikur Rahman. Mr. Atikur Rahman, questions that are being raised of the BJP is this, that this is happening in the Chief Minister's own home turf. And time and again the allegation is that he has been soft on one side. That's the allegation of the BJP. Nevertheless, there are evidences and there are certain episodes that have been caught on camera, including those who have been caught or those in charge or those responsible for, accused of the Chhabra riots, who have been feted at the Chief Minister's own residence at an iftar party.
Madhav, I have an antidote for this hate.
All right, I think we've lost that line there with Atikur Rahman as well. Tehseen Poonawalla is back with us, I'm told. Yes, Tehseen, Chief Minister's own constituency has no control over. Notwithstanding the fact that there are several episodes that have, in fact, happened in recent past in different parts of the state, which have raised questions about whether the government has been completely impartial or unfair.
I just have 2 very, very quick points to make. Point number 1, the Rajasthan government has passed a mob violence bill, particularly for incidents like this, based on the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. In my case, the Honorable Governor of Rajasthan is still not signing the bill, as has many other governors of opposition states have passed this bill. If this bill would have passed, mob violence would not happen, but Amit Shah is not allowing these bills to be passed. Why doesn't Amit Shah allow the governors to pass this bill? Point number 2, and this is the more pertinent point that I want to make. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. But you're not answering my question still. Chief Minister's home turf, he's not able to control it. Why not? How will he be able to govern the state, sir, if he can't control what's happening in his own home turf?
Please, your line is bad. Just allow me to speak very quickly. These riots would have been controlled and the mob violence bill being passed, but the governor and the president of India is not signing it. I don't know why. Amit Shah said in Parliament, we will not allow these bills to be passed, though it's a state subject law and order, but because this is under CRPC and IPC, they don't allow the governors to sign it. Number 2, which is a more pertinent and very important point, the 300-year-old Shiv temple, and I was with Rahul Shiv Shankar, your editor-in-chief, on this channel, was demolished by the board run by the Bharatiya Janata Party, whose all members passed it. It is shocking that a BJP national spokesperson lies on national TV and she is not called out. Not only was the BJP demolished, Madhav, I cannot debate if she shouts. Please, you've got to allow her to keep quiet. You have to rather call the plug. Pull the plug here.
1 second. You've raised an allegation against her. She's raising a question against you. Let me just and Tehseen, we have very limited time. We have very limited time, and therefore I want to bring in other panelists over here. Let me quickly bring in Ratan Sharda.
She's interrupted me.
Yes, but you have limited time, sir, and the other panelists as well. I've allowed both of you to speak. I want Ratan Sharda to come in now. Ratan Sharda, simple question over here. I've repeatedly asked Tehseen about whether the Chief Minister in his own home turf has not been able to control the situation. What will he be able to do as far as the rest of the state is concerned? These are some very, very serious questions, and unfortunately there appears to be a pattern in all of the law and order incidents that have happened as far as the government and the police and the manner in which they've allowed rioters and those carrying out violence to get away with it. Ratan Sharda.
Ashok Gehlot is in deep waters. He has grown old. He's got tired. He's holding a seat for his son who lost to BJP MP, and now they are creating trouble in that particular constituency with Gehlot family. Now let me show the actual effort to make a planned violence. It is a report from Dainik Bhaskar. It is not my report. It says planning के साथ आए उपद्रवी शहर में जालोरी गेट, शनीचर का थाना, कबूतरों का चौक, भीम जी की हताई, घोड़ों का चौक, सोनारों का बास सहित कई मोहल्लों में उपद्रवियों की भीड़ गई। प्लानिंग के साथ आए उपद्रवियों के पास तलवारें थी, तेजाब की बोतलें, पत्थर, लाठियां थी। हर मोहल्ले में उपद्रवियों के अलग अलग ग्रुप उत्पात मचाने गए थे। अरे भाई, ओके।
Why are you not aiming towards a strong India? The factors you are talking of is weakening India, and the weakening of India is neither good for Hindus nor Muslims nor the world.
Mr. Atikur Rahman, you will get your turn to speak, sir. Let Mr. Sharda make his point. He is saying, Mr. Rahman, we have seen today visuals of people brandishing swords on the streets of Jodhpur. There are serious allegations about how that happened, whether there was some preparation. Let Mr. Sharda make his point. You can respond to him, sir. You can respond to Mr. Sharda. Let him complete his point.
Politics and milice.
Coming to you, Mr. Rahman. Let Mr. Sharda make his point. Yes, Ratan Sharda.
A day prior to this, so knowing that this trouble is brewing, police did nothing. Why didn't do anything? Because the government is paralyzed. They don't allow police to work. They said रमजान में सबको 24 घंटे बिजली मिल रही है मुस्लिम इलाकों को. This is secularism. And the larger point is that these unprovoked violence has taken place all over India, irrespective of the party that is in power. Right from Kerala to Kashmir, from Gujarat to Bengal, where have we left any space? 15 riots in just one day, 2 days. Why it was so? Was there any provocation? No. Provocation is that Hindus should not celebrate festival. Is that the provocation? No. The provocation is they want to create an impression around the world that India is not a peaceful country. And Maulana say we don't listen to come to India.
I'm going to allow Atikur Rahman. So we have limited time now. I want Atikur Rahman to come in now. Atikur Rahman, series of questions that have been posed by Ratan Sharda, notwithstanding, of course, what the state government or the acts of omission or commission of it. The question is the manner in which the action actually happened. You know, when there are times of festivals, this is the last thing that one would expect. We would expect that people would be able to live in harmony, but that's unfortunately not what's happened on ground over here. And the question is that is being raised by the BJP is that this is all happening because of what they allege is appeasement politics.
यूपी में शांति सब कुछ हो गया मौलाना.
Madhav, there is no point. Please.
Okay, let him speak, please.
No point spreading.
Let him speak, please. He has not spoken yet. Yes, Mr. Rahman.
I am talking of Ratan Sharda ji. Ratan Sharda ji, there is no point, you are raising and spreading poison. I am asking for solutions. Don't be a part of the problem, for God's sake.
Okay.
India needs to get strengthened. And the strengthening of India is only by talking peace, talking reason, talking constitutionalism. Why you are raising the ugly head of hate and poison and malice?
Please go to Jodhpur.
Talk of the solution, sir. Why are you spreading hate? There is no point. There is no point. Have you an antidote to this malice and hate?
I am not spreading hate.
I am spreading sheep korma on this Eid day.
You are refusing to accept
sweetness.
the riots are
Spread
unprovoked.
reason.
Spread
constitutionalism.
The riots
Spread the words of Gandhi. Not Godse, sir. The future of India lies in Gandhi, not Godse.
Okay. Sanju Verma.
The Indian people.
Okay, I want Sanju Verma to respond to that. Sanju Verma, direct allegation of Atikur Rahman is that hate is being spread. Hate is being spread in the country. That's his allegation. Please respond to him. Sanju Verma.
Madhav, it is all very fine to sit in TV studios in front of Madhav. Atikur Rahman can wax eloquent about of Gandhi and peace.
You are also sitting in a TV studio.
If you really want peace,
You too is sitting in a TV studio. Get out of it. Walk on ground. You are under oath. I am not under oath. You are under oath. I am not. I am asking for peace.
All right.
You are asking
All right.
for peace.
Clearly, we haven't heard the last word yet on what's happened in Jodhpur. Very unfortunate incidents that have taken place. Only shocking aspect is, of course, the failure of the administration in curbing the situation and allowing for the riots to spiral pretty much out of control, with mobs walking around the city and, in fact, threatening all those who came their way. That's what, in fact, citizens of Jodhpur have been sharing with us. It's all on camera for all of us to see. What really will the investigation bring out? Will more details, more CCTV footage throw more light on how the incidents took place last night and this morning? We'll have to wait for that. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us this evening.